is up, fantasy fans? So today I want to do another Tropeborn video and talking about a trope that I think probably gets the worst rap of the bunch, and that is the Chosen One.
You are the Chosen One!
We've seen Chosen One since the conception of the fantasy genre. We've seen Aragorn, we've seen Harry Potter, we've seen Luke Skywalker. I'm not going to mention any of those on the list, but I'm going to talk about some 10 Chosen Ones. These are kind of ranked, kind of not. They're kind of just 10 examples of how to do it well. But they are kind of a ranking in that, you know, the last one is probably my favorite, and number 10 is my least favorite of the 10, but still really high up on the list. Like I've read a lot of fantasy books with a lot of Chosen Ones. First up, number 10, I want to start off with something that, in the synopsis of this book, it says he is not chosen, but I'm talking about Kaelin Breyer from the Bound and the Broken series. Kaelin Breyer prepares for the proving, a test of courage and skill that not all survive. But when 3 strangers arrive in the village of Milltown with a secret they are willing to die for, Kaelin's world is ripped from under him, and he is thrust headfirst into a war that has been raging for centuries. There is no prophecy. His coming was not foretold. He bleeds like any man, and bleed he will. I have not read A Faithful and Fallen. I've heard Kaelin compared to the main character from that series. I'll say I do enjoy Kaelin quite a bit. I see a lot of people say that they wish Dane was the main character of the series, and Dane is my favorite, but I think Kaelin is a much more human farm boy than I'm used to seeing. I definitely prefer him over Rand al'Thor. I'm sorry, but I thought he was more human. I thought he came across as more human than any of the main 6 characters of Wheel of Time. I thought we got a farm boy that, I liked his relationship with his sister, with his parents. I thought, while it didn't try to do anything crazy new with it, it did just tell that coming from a farm and falling into this destiny very, very well. Better done than Aragon, better done than Wheel of Time. For my own subjective taste, this isn't objectively better, but I think it did those things very, very well. So yeah, number 10 is going to be Kaelin Breyer. All right, so number 9 is going to be Aram from Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. The world makes of us what it will, and it doesn't give a damn about what we want. If we're lucky, we'll look back from our deathbeds and find that our lives were lived for a purpose. But more often than not, all we'll see is a long list of missed opportunities. Think about all that the wind is and all that it does, where it goes, where it comes from. The wind knows everything, for it travels everywhere and it's with us always. It endures, it feels, it speaks. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it rages. Give it a listen sometime. Aram is not your typical Chosen One. He's neurodivergent. He struggles a lot with not fitting in and with finding his place in the world, but he is such a resilient character. He's so strong. He's so loyal. He's brave, but he doesn't feel like a stereotypical Chosen One. He feels like a very human character that, experiences hardship and has been outcast and has been laughed at and mocked, and he's still able to rise above. And there's a point in the story where one of his teachers is like, "How strong are you?" And he said, "I was tortured for however many years. They never broke me." And that moment really struck a chord with me. It's just like, dang, this kid is truly exceptional, and I think any one of us would have put in Aram's shoes. So number 9's got to be Aram from Dragon Mage. Number 8 might be cheating because at least where I'm at in the series, there has been no prophecy involving him, but who his mother is and all the stuff that went into creating him, all the different elder type powers that have a vetted interest in him, he definitely be giving me Chosen One vibes. And I'm talking about my boy, Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden. My name is Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden. Conjure by it at your own risk. When things get strange, when what goes bump in the night flicks on the lights, when no one else can help you, give me a call. I'm in the book. Harry Dresden he's not the typical Chosen One, and there are not any, overt prophecies about him in this book, but he is a character. It's kind of crazy because from his point of view, he's, this fun, oh yeah, I fight monsters, I'm kind of a badass, but he doesn't realize the monsters are terrified of him. The things that go bump in the night cower before the name of Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden. And it's not till way later in the series that he starts to pick up on that, he might have made things worse for the rest of the world because all the monsters left Chicago. All the terrible monsters and stuff are supposed to be spread out, but he's pushing them out from his city and from his regions. Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden is, to me, one of my favorite Chosen One type characters, even if I am cheating by putting him on this list. Now, this next one is not cheating because it's explicitly stated in the text that this is a Chosen One. The question is the prophecy true or not? And I'm talking about Valdan from the Sundered Nation trilogy. And a king shall rise from among the kingless, born of exile, and glory shall he rise, and glory shall be his song, calling to the faithful, echoing across the ages. And even in his doom shall he lead unto Urinon. Such is the fate of the bringer. So say the hymns of the dreamers of the Skalani, Bryn Bright Eyes, Saga of Danya. So this is one of the most captivating examples of a Chosen One in fiction. I even question putting it this low on the list. I mean, I've got some great contenders here. We'll see where this goes in Destiny's Doom, but right now we're looking at 10, 9. This is number 7. But number 7 and 6 are very close for very different reasons. Number 6 because I love the character. Number 7 because I love the exploration of the trope and the way it is examined. Valdan, the prophecy maybe is not a good thing, and him being a Chosen One is definitely worsened the place he's at in his life. Like this prophecy is not good. If you were to ask Valdan, he'd say it's good, but we as the reader are able to take a look and be like, whoa, all these expectations and this prophecy. Don't love what they're doing to you, dude, especially in book 2. So warning, if you love Valdan in book 1, be prepared for him to be a little bit different in book 2. I liked him in book 1, loved him in book 2, loved hating him in book 2. Let me put it that way. And then next up, I have a character that I love loving, and that is Dayraven from the Adan trilogy. As holy war looms over the kingdoms of Jormungand, a chance encounter bestows a terrible curse upon a young man. Dayraven's curse may decide Jormungand's fate, but first, with the help of unlikely friends, he must survive the shattering of his world. Gosh, Dayraven's such a good MC. I won't say he's my favorite in the series. That goes to either Galdor or Orvindil, probably Galdor. I really love Erd as well. But Dayraven is without a doubt one of my favorite Chosen Ones. He doesn't embody the Chosen One archetype in that he is the one to fight the enemy and bring violence. Granted, I've only read the first 2 books, so I could be wrong. This could change up in book 3, but he is less I'm fighting the Dark Lord, I'm the Chosen One, even though Philip Chase kind of makes you think he's going to go that way. What actually happens is he's more of like a Buddha figure that's trying to stop war and doesn't even really seem to take a side. But I don't want to get into spoilers, but the way that Dayraven conducts himself and what he embodies both thematically and within the narrative of the story is brilliant. Nothing short of brilliant. I'm only 2 books in, but already if I'd made my top 15 list after reading Prophet of Edan, it would have been on that list. So yeah, Dayraven, my number 6 favorite Chosen One. And so for my number 5 spot, and this one is a huge surprise to me, but even though the character's not my favorite from the series, I do like the way it was implemented into the story. And I'm talking about Ganois Paran, Master of the Deck from Malazan Book of the Fallen. Every decision you make can change the world. The best life is the one the gods don't notice. You want to live free, boy? Live quietly. Yeah, it's weird to have a Malazan entry that's not at the number 1 spot, but I think Chosen One's one of the few things that a couple of authors have done a little bit better. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Philip Chase might have done it better. But the Master of the Deck, it's because it's not a end-all be-all Chosen One, right? Like, he was chosen for a task, but he is not the Chosen One of Malazan. But the task he's chosen for is captivating. And it took Ganois, in Gardens of the Moon, I was like, I could take him or leave him. Memories of Ice, I'm like, I like him. And then, once he becomes that master of the deck, I'm like, oh, I really like him. He never reaches the heights of his sisters for me. And you can make a case that Pelisson is her own chosen one, but that kind of veers into more of the Valdan situation of like, is the prophecy real or not? I guess for both siblings, we'll put Malazan at number 5. And at number 4, and again, I'm ranking them on how well they implement the trope of chosen one. This is not my top 10 favorite characters that happen to be chosen ones, because my number 4 is my favorite character in all of fiction. But if we're going off of how the chosen one is used in the story and how that is used within their character, then number 4 has to be Fit Chivalry Farseer from Realm of the Elderlings. Leave the pain behind and let your life be your own again. There is a place where all time is now, and the choices are simple and always your own. Wolves have no kings. So in this series, Fitz is the catalyst, and each catalyst has their white prophet, and they're able to alter the future in a way to the most optimistic timeline. But the way that Fitz is kind of used to alter the timeline kind of makes you feel a certain way about the Fool. Like, is he manipulating him? I love the Fool. I have a neck tattoo of the Fool. But yeah, that whole prophet / chosen one, but also best friends, but also there's so many layers to the relationship, and I think the chosen one aspect adds to the layers there, while also muddling some of the more holistic vibes of the series. But I mean, it just makes it more nuanced. I think it was the right choice, and it's my number 4 favorite use of the chosen one in fantasy. Number 3, and I can't really get into why because it would spoil the series, but number 3 is going to be Nail from the 5 Warrior Angel series. Trust is fleeting, while betrayal is timeless. Alas, life is crowded with lies, so be bloody, be brave, be happy, for at the end of every tale, nobody is who they seem to be. Nail with an asterisk, and I can't tell you why the asterisk is there. All I can say is please go read 5 Warrior Angels by Brian Lee Durfee. It does Chosen One so well. Gosh, the way it handles prophecy, destiny, all those things, it is not going to go the way you think. Again, this is not based on my favorite characters of all time. This is my favorite use of the Chosen One trope, but these top 2 are in like my top 5 favorite characters of all time, along with Fitz. So, and this one's kind of a cheat because it's a Chosen 2, but Lysair and Arathon. The wars of light and shadow were fought during the Third Age of Aethera, the most troubled and strife-filled era recorded in all of history. At that time, Arathon, called Master of Shadows, battled the Lord of Light through 5 centuries of bloody and bitter conflict. If the canons of the religion founded during that period are reliable, the Lord of Light was divinity incarnate, and the Master of Shadow, a servant of evil, spinner of dark powers. Temple archives attest with grandiloquent force to be the sole arbiters of truth. Yet contrary evidence supports the claim that the Master was unjustly aligned with evil. Fragments of manuscripts survive which expose the entire religion of light as fraud, and award Arathon the attributes of saint and mystic instead. They're the chosen ones to stop the Mistwraith, but there's also way more going on here, and these 2 lineages, the Cephalon and the Seleucid or Sahalis? Seleucid? Yeah, the Seleucid bloodlines are prophesied to do many different things in the world of Aethera, and you kind of question the validity of these prophecies and what's going on, but I think that these are both amazing chosen ones. Arathon especially is one of my favorite characters in all of fiction, and I really liked the way that the Mistwraith prophecy was kind of turned on its head. That's just in book 1. There's so much more to read and so much more to explore, but right now is my number 2 pick for favorite chosen one. My number 1 pick for favorite chosen one, and I think this is actually the reason I wanted to make the video, because I think that this series does the chosen one trope so remarkably well. And I can't go into detail on it because you don't really get to see the fruition of that until book 3. Well, starting in book 2, but really book 3. And I'm talking about Hadrian Alexander Marlowe. The ugliness of the world does not fade, and fear and grief are not made less by time. We are only made stronger. We can only float together on their tides, as otters do, hand in hand. The half-mortal, the devil of Madois. Gosh, he's the best chosen one ever. He's just the best chosen one. There's a lot of I didn't know if I wanted to do Valdan or Dayraven or Ganoes at this spot. I know for sure, Hadrian was never going to be anywhere but number one. From the second I had this video, it was never oh wait, should Arathon and Lysair be number one? I love Janny. She probably will win most lists over Christopher. But in terms of the chosen one trope, Christopher Rocchio does it better than anyone. Better than anyone. If you don't have that opinion, it must be because you have not read Demon in White yet. He does the chosen one trope so well. But if you disagree, let me know why it's not Hadrian Marlowe and give me your wrong opinions down in the comment section below. I'm just kidding, but let me know who your favorite chosen ones are. If there's anybody I missed, and if I did them in the wrong order. I mean, I know Hadrian's number one, but how in what other ways could I have messed up? Anyway, thanks guys. Peace.